things that we've done in the past has led us to where we are today.
I think this is what really resonates with me, is your passion and also your compassion in terms of your entrepreneurial ventures. You've done stuff for you and for Delphine that's added value to Dubai. Now this is something that's more far-reaching than that, and it's really to create awareness and to help parents and children. So can you kind of explain how it first dawned on you that this might be something that you might want to get into, and then how you sort of gathered momentum?
Well, look, we're kind of also a challenging time when we were getting towards preparing ourselves for the Ironman. And, you know, we've been here for almost 20 years. We've had our own challenges, even with our own businesses. And some have been successful, some haven't been successful. So that, for anyone, is a challenge in itself. And we went through that. And we were going through that at the time when I was preparing for the Ironman. So a lot of things were being thrown at us, but I think you have a lot of choices in life. And even when Rio came into my life, as a father, you know, you get beaten down onto your knees and you've got a choice. You can either stay there and struggle, or you get up onto your feet and you find a way and find a positive solution out of it. And Absolutely. That's what we've always done with having a son with disabilities. Even prior to the journey on where we are today, you know, we've always set up other campaigns about spreading awareness with children with disabilities. And we did loads of other different activities on spreading awareness. We used to do a huge event called Reaching You, Party in the Park. Ran it over 6-7 years, a free fun day for the whole community. We'd have about 5,000 people that turn up in one of the parks. And the purpose of the day, very simple. We used to go to every school in the UAE, invite them to come down. I used to go to every special needs centre, invite them down. I used to make sure that everything was free. The stage, we had entertain. I used to MC the event as well. Stage, we used to have activities up on the stage. As many bouncy castles that the park could fit. All the food, all the drink, all the everything was entertainment. And I used to fill the stage full of gifts and toys and give everything away. The sole purpose of the day was if a child came down there and saw another little boy or a girl in a wheelchair and walked home and asked mum and dad, what's all that about? We'd done our job. Yeah. And I think going through the experience of raising Rio here, there was a stage that he was in a wheelchair. And we got to understand quite quickly what it was like being a parent, taking Rio out, and people not understanding a child in a wheelchair, people looking, standing, staring, taking photos. So as a parent, that's quite hard to deal with anyway. So we found quite quickly that, maybe we need to help the community with a bit of awareness. So we've always wanted to give back. You know, I'm always a person that feel that we've been very blessed that we've been here. We've made mistakes, that's fine, and we'll admit them. So along the way, it's been a journey, but we've always wanted to give back to the community. So when we were preparing for the Ironman, again, like we all know, life work kind of is tough. We were being challenged at the time, and training wasn't going to plan. And I woke up with my wife one morning and Delphine said to me, she said, have you ever thought about doing the race with Rio? And it was actually at that stage where I remembered me being in France when we started my first triathlon. I remember the water, the lake, and me getting quite anxious about the swim. I had no idea what was about to happen. Getting out on the bike, doing the run and crossing the finish line. And it dawned on me when Delphine said to that, I was like, you know what, Rio will never get the opportunity to experience that unless I take him with him. And we started to look into it, and we were inspired by, and still are, you know, Rick Hoyt is one of the original guys that did the Ironman in Kona with his son back in the 80s, and has done numerous marathons with his son. And since then, there's been more families competing with their either siblings, sons, brothers. And we started to look into it. So I thought, yeah, why not? Why not? So we obviously didn't end up doing Barcelona Ironman. The next biggest race in Dubai calendar was Dubai International Triathlon, which is a half Ironman. So it's a 1.9 swim, a 90k bike, 21k run. And yeah, that was our first race together.
And how did Rio react to this?
So yeah, look, the first race was, I think we were just a little bit overwhelmed by what it meant. So crossing the finish line was just unbelievable. I think for Rio, we were so glad that he was a part of that journey for the first race. But to be honest, it wasn't until the second one that I kind of realised why I do what I do and how Rio is. The second race that we signed up for was the same distance. It was called Dubai Challenge, and it's a 1.9, 90, 21 run. And Dubai was one of those days, you know, when you get those sandstorms and they close everything. It's great. And when I say this, talk to kids, they love it because they close schools and everything. So Dubai had one of those days. So the swim was, actually the organisers turned around and said, look, Nick, I don't want you to swim. Unfortunately, being ex-Royal Marine, there was no way anyone was going to tell me I'm not going to swim.
Absolutely.
So I did say, look, I'll find someone to follow me. So we had a guy on a paddleboard follow me around the course. But we did the swim, finished the swim, gone to the bike, and we were just plummeted and beaten up on the bike with sand and wind, and it was in our face. And I was thinking, and it was that stage I'm thinking, is Rio okay? You know, we're on the bike for like 3+ hours. 90 kilometers, it's a long time, and if you see the photos, you know, he's just sat in front of me. And we were coming back into town, and this was the changing point when I realised what we do, he loves it. And we were riding back into town, and we had about 20 kilometers to do, and I'm on the tri-bars, and Rio's head sits underneath me, and I'm cycling away, and I'm thinking, you know, if he's had enough, we're going to respect that. If he says, Dad, finish, halas, I'm going to stop. And we've done our little bit together. And he actually turns around to me, and his face, his eyes are watering, his face has been battered by sand, his eyes are a little bit bloodshot, and I'm pedalling away. And he turns around, he looks Dad in the eye, like, are you okay, Rio? You know, and I'm expecting him now to say finished. But he says, Dada, I love you. And that's what
that must have just
I'm in bits.
melted your heart.
I'm in bits. I'm in tears. I'm in tears. I'm like, no way. He loves this. You know, even though the conditions, even though how long we've been out there. And we get to the end of the bike, down the run, and we get across the finish line. And then even at the end of the finish line, you'll love this. I go to get him out the chair. And we've been out there for like 7 hours. And I'm thinking, come on, Rio, we finished now. We can go home, we can have some food, we can chill. And I try and lift him out of the chair, and he looks at me and he goes, Dada, more. Like, mate, what are you, those nuts. So that's it. And then we start racing. And then we start loving it. So that's when we went into the first kind of real year of racing, which was last September. We did about 35 races. Probably did about 1,000 kilometers together, swim, bike, run. That's racing alone. And that's when we started to go, look, there's something here very special. And that's when we built the concept of Team Angel Wolf. Just to let you know about the name. So we call my daughter nicknamed Little Wolf. If she was here, she's upstairs, but if she was, she'd probably be dancing on the table now. We'd have to restrain her. As free-spirited, lovely little kid. She's just wonderful. And Rio we call our Angel for obvious reasons, so Team Angel Wolf. Yeah. And that's when the concept kind of grew. So it really started last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a obviously it's a sentimental name, but I think it's a beautiful, and I think it's a very distinctive name as well. So obviously it lends itself nicely to the branding.
To the logo. Yes, cool.
So, now, I read this quote somewhere and I absolutely love it.
Okay.
There is no limit to what Rio can be included in. Only our own inability or limitations for trying them. Now, it got me thinking, for a child of Rio's age and what he's experienced, it rings so true, but it's actually a mantra for all of our lives, isn't it? If we don't go out there and explore, you're just forever living beneath your potential.
Yeah, look, it's. I think there's so many things that have happened in the last couple of years that we've come to, and even as a father, and I go out and we race a lot, and we're doing more things, and we're having more experiences with Rio. And I think something actually highlighted that this summer. We've, for many years, have not managed to take the family away during the summer holiday. And actually this summer, with some help from family and friends, we managed to get a trip, went to Portugal, then to my parents' hotel in France and came back. We were away for about a month and it was fantastic. But over those 9 years of not travelling, and that's how long it was, actually as long as,
Wow,
as old as Tyr is, as a family unit, we were kind of had really loads of concerns about Rio. You know, how's he going to be on the flight? How's he going to be in hotels? How's he going to be in a different environment? Because he's used to routine. He actually likes routine, and we thought he liked routine. So we're always a little bit apprehensive, you know, the flights, how it's going to be, different places that we stayed at, different restaurants. We're going to be on holiday, so we're going to be exploring. But he led the way on everything that we did. He got on the flight, just chilled, you know. And again, he won't watch TV. You know, he was happy. We got to all the different destinations and just, you know, took everything in his stride. And we were learning from him, and we were like, why are we're actually holding him back from doing things? And he's the one that's going, I'm all right, you know, let's go out and do this. And it was even an eye-opener for us, and this is only 6 months ago, you know what I mean? So, and then from then we've done so many different activities, you know, taking him skiing, taking him horse riding, bareback in the water and skiing, skydiving within the tunnel here in in-flight Dubai, and all these little things, and just takes in his stride. There's no, you know, there's no moaning, there's no groaning. And if you want, trust me, if you didn't want to do something, you would tell us. And that's 100%. And I think what we've also learned from that, Rio lives for now. There is no assumption of what has happened yesterday. That's not important for him. And there's no worries about what's happening tomorrow. He lives now, and this is so true. We see it every day. We live with him. He lives now for the moment. And I just think that is such a blessing, because we live in so much on what we've done, who we've upset, how we've spoken to someone, you know, whatever that is, you know what I mean? We're always worried about tomorrow and this, but are they just assumptions at the end of the day? But living now, and that for me has just been such a delight. And this little boy, I get emotional now, he's led my destiny. He is, what I'm doing now is because of him, and he's that's leading me. I'm the dad, but he's leading the way, and we're going, this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. So yeah, hopefully that kind of answers a long-winded question.
They say that we learn so much from our children, because
100%.
obviously they come into life with a fresh perspective, no baggage. This is absolute concrete proof of that.
And this is ongoing. So, you know, Rio's not being, you know, subject to, you know, what kids are growing up very quickly now. You know, Rio still lives in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, social media, Facebook, that doesn't mean anything to him. You know what I mean? So, and that innocence is beautiful. And I think that's what makes what we do. So even the next event, whatever the next event, whatever we're going to give Rio a go, we might be a little bit worried about it. Now, I was actually speaking to Tough Mudder. So we're doing that in 2 weeks. So that's another obstacle race, carrying Rio on a stretcher. And they're like, yeah, but will Rio be okay? And I was like, well, look, we'll just take it in a stride. And he said, well, what about all these obstacles? And I said, look, if we don't want to do an obstacle, and as a parent, you know, we'll make sure safety comes first. If we end up going halfway through an obstacle and we find that Rio's not comfortable, we will stop. He will lead the way. And if we find that we will continue to do it, and we'll help him, and we'll do it. So,
and do you find event organisers are pretty understanding about this? Unbelievable and supportive. They allow us to enter for free. For the last 18 months, we've not entered a race, as in paid. They love the concept. They love what we're doing. Again, we're inspiring people.
So every event that we go to, there are probably people that will join us on that event because we are there. And the support has been absolutely brilliant. And then even more so from the athletes that are there. So obviously something like triathlon, which has been our main sport, unbelievable response that we get. So, we're on the bike, obviously it's a little bit difficult in the water, but when we're on the bike, every cyclist will clap, cheer, shout Rio, shout Team Angel Wolf, go Nick. We will get applause on everything that we do when we're on the run, across the finish line, big hugs. And that's growing momentum. And that from the community itself has been heartbreaking. It's been brilliant.
Yeah, and totally validates what you're doing. I mean, I know it's obviously a personal passion anyway, but I just think it's such an incredible thing that you guys are doing. All your time is spent on this crusade to raise awareness.
Yeah, look, and I think, like I said, Rio's definitely directed my destiny, and the things that we've done in the past, irrespective to our businesses or what we've done personally, has led us to where we are today. I cannot, to be honest, if someone asked me what would be your best job in the world, it is where I am doing what I'm doing now. So I'm doing a sport that I love. I'm getting to race and spend quality time with my son. And at the same time, we're inspiring others, and we are spreading awareness about children with disabilities. I have a son with disabilities, so there's lots of all the right causes there. And this is perfect, I'll be honest with you. This is like maybe it is a crusade, but it's something that we are thoroughly enjoying. And I wake up every morning excited about what I'm doing. And that's quite difficult today, to wake up and go, oh, go to work. I love this, you know what I mean? So this message, even doing this interview today, if one person comes away and has a little bit more understanding about children with disability, fantastic. If one person also goes, I'm going to start training, I'm going to do a race tomorrow, we've done a job.
The people out there that don't know about Teenager Wolf, how can they keep track of your progress? How can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, look, first and foremost, our social media. So Facebook is probably at the moment, Team Angel Wolf on Facebook is the best protocol. Instagram, exactly the same. We're redesigning, obviously, our website at the moment. So, we didn't even design it. So it was always in its infancy. So we're having some assistance and help. And again, I'll be honest with you, even the community's coming together and helping us. So we've got PR companies helping, we've got people helping with branding. And again, they're doing it all pro rata. They just want to help. And that's absolutely brilliant for us. So we've just set ourselves up as a non-profit organisation. And yeah, this has now become a full-time job. We need to make sure that it can work as well, that we can put a roof over our head and feed the children and get the basics. But there is so much potential with what we're doing, and we will allow it to grow organically. Who knows? We have this interview in another year's time. We might be in a different place, and it would be lovely to see where we are. So there's agendas, but the main thing is, like you said, is to get that message out there. Yeah. With spreading awareness and motivating and inspiring the community to get fit and healthy, and let people believe that anything's possible. Because if Rio can do it, my daughter's raced with Rio, the family unit, what they do as well, it's not just me, it's not just Rio. The goals and our objectives for the future, are big. And if we can inspire the community, especially children are, like you said, are very innocent, and if we can install good habits with them from day one, and that means being active, eating well, you start installing those from an early age, you can set them up for life.
Yeah, particularly in a digital age where they're all glued to devices. This is, taking them away from that, which I don't think is a bad thing. So.
And we kind of hope that, I think everywhere in life people like a little bit of a role model. So there's no excuse, we kind of find there's no excuse not to get out there and be active, and hopefully by what we're doing, what we love, hopefully that may inspire others, especially children.
Sure. Well, Nick, as we say on Sports Reel, always bring your A game. You guys, the whole family, do it every single day.
Thank you.
You should be very proud of what you've achieved to date, and we look forward to the continuing journey. And thank you, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise, thank you.